Discuss your reactions to Arthur and William in the movie Hoop Dreams.
I thought that it was great that they decided to follow their dreams of going into the NBA, but they didn't realize that if they didn't make it into the NBA, then they would have to do something else in their career, which I don't believe they thought of doing. So their classes weren't so well with the sciences and math, so I guess that their decisions that they made of making a charity or being a pastor was actually a good thing to fall back on if they like what they do.
How do the filmmakers compare Arthur and William's story throughout the film?
They did a good transition between both stories. When something bad happened, when I believe it was William's knee was, the cartilage was all screwed up. At the same time, Arthur was failing his classes and he was falling behind. It didn't seem like he really cared about his marks until he saw his report card. But then William got back into basketball after he healed, but it continuously messed with his games because he didn't shoot those hoops that well. So
compare the two families, the Aggies versus the Gates' strengths, weaknesses, values.
The Aggies went through a lot of pain because their father left the family and he was doing lots of drugs and drug dealing and such. And because the school wanted them to spill so much money out for his education just for the basketball, they were running on low money, so they had to have welfare, but all their power was coming out because they didn't get to pay the bills that well. And at the same time, William and his family were struggling with him because his grades as well, but not as bad as Arthur's. Yet he still tried to get his scores up so he could go into university. And eventually he did make it to the university, but he didn't get into the NBA. But his families are still proud of him.